Hello everyone, and welcome to the third episode of 1,000 Little MS Things. My name is John Raftopoulos and I'm sitting here with my beautiful wife Claire. Hello darling.
Hey darling, morning to you.
And now we're doing this in the mornings.
Because my brain's better.
Well, it's better for
everyone.
A bit fresher.
Well,
do you feel fresher?
Oh, much better. Because the dog woke up at 7, so I'm happy today.
I
slept well last night.
Because you've got to get into the habit of...
You're a puppy. Puppy's very exhausting, having a puppy.
Leaving her a bit longer.
Yeah, because I think it's hard.
We want to send a special thanks to those who have already watched our first episode that we released yesterday on Instagram and the webpage, 1,000 Little MS Things. And thank you so much to those who have looked at the first episode and liked it. And I hope you like the ones to come. And we'd also, as we said last episode, we'd love to hear from those people who would like to share your story. And again, send it to a little video or a little bit of scripture to so Rafty20, RAFTY, the number 20 at gmail.com, and we'll hopefully have a chat to you on this in this format. So today we're very excited to introduce Lina Marrocco. Lina's a good friend of Claire's and ours, and a very amazing, smart, tough lady who has had MS for 33 years and was forced to retire at the age of 48. Lina worked at the Department of Justice for 25 years. In the last 10 years of that, she was an information privacy manager. So I'd just like to say, hi, Lina.
Good morning, people.
Here she is, and here's your little friend, Claire.
Hi, darling.
Hey, Claire, how are you, love?
I'm good today, thank you.
Good.
Well,
thank you for having me, by the way.
It's a pleasure.
And I don't know about the description of being an amazing lady, but thank you.
You are.
Yeah, take it, it's good.
Lina, why don't we just start by you telling us how you and Claire met?
Sure. Claire was introduced to me by a good friend of mine, Terry, and the reason she introduced us was that we had something really big in common, and that was MS. And I think that was about 10 years ago, and we just never stopped talking.
True.
It's not a problem for the two of you, is it?
No, talk is easy. That part's easy. That part's good.
And Lina, we'll go back a little bit further now, and we'll probably jump around with timelines for things.
Sure.
But so, what type of MS? Do you want to tell everyone what type of MS you have, and what
Sure.
and what were your first symptoms way back when?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I soon started to describe MS to people as there's good MS and there's bad MS. The good MS is the not so good one because it's progressive, you get sick and you just don't get better. And then the good MS is the one where you get sick, you have a relapse, but then you get better. And I'm lucky enough, if you can call it that, to have the better MS. The one where I relapse and I get better. This whole MS journey started a very long time ago. 7 years ago, I had a toddler and I had a double vision and an extreme front headache that it was like 10, 11 days straight. I actually thought I had a brain tumour. And when I went to the GP, sick as with those two symptoms, he just looked at me and he said, okay, I'm referring you to a psychiatrist. You need to see a psychiatrist. Now, I am a smart lady, but at the time I was so damn sick that I just went with it. And so I went to the psychiatrist and he said, welcome, why are you here? And I said, well, I've got X, Y, Z, and my GP referred me to you. And he said, well, you don't need to be talking to me, you need to be talking to a neurologist. And that then started this whole 26-year journey of good MS. And here I am talking to you guys.
And what, Lina, what drugs what were your first drugs that you were given at the start? What were your first ones?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question because 26 years ago there wasn't a lot of choice for people.
It's a lot different.
And at the time it was just injections that I gave myself, and there were maybe 3 or 4 different types of injections, and I would have them and they would make me sicker than I originally was.
Hang on, Lina. What drug was the first one? Was it like Rebif? What was the first one? Avanex?
Oh, okay. Yes, Claire, good on you. Yes, Rebif was one of them.
Was that yours, Diane?
What's the other one you said?
Avanex.
Yeah, Avanex was another. I think if you Google 26 years ago what there was around, you get the name of 3 or 4 injections.
Yeah,
and I tried all those.
So it's interferon, Rebif, and Avanex.
So you're the start of your MS, or the medicines you were taking sounds like
identical to me.
Like Claire's.
Same as me. Yes, identical. But also steroids. Do you have steroids too? Steroids are very bad when you're bad.
What are?
Steroids, like
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. And Claire's been on this journey as well. And steroids are just horrible thing to have. It's an infusion and it makes you sick for a long time for me before I get better. But you know what? Can I just say, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, but I don't want to forget, one of my problems at the moment is really quite bad memory, really bad. And if I don't speak about something or remember it, then it's gone.
Exactly. And I said the other day.
So, Lina, how new is this symptom for you?
Okay. So the memory, I would say, has been getting progressively worse, I think, over the last 2 to 3 years. And yeah. And so when I'm talking to people, if I remember something, I will often just, and this is another horrible thing, I will interrupt people to stop them so I can say, I just need to say X, because otherwise if we keep talking about something else, I'm going to forget X. Claire would understand me.
I tell you, it's 100% in my purview every day.
And Lina, just to tell people who are listening and watching, I know it's not a nice subject, but the pain part of what and how long that's been going on and where you get it, and just explain it to people listening.
Sure. So I think it's probably been about 7 years that I've had neuropathic pain, and it's been all down my my right side, and sometimes it starts at the back of my neck, the back of my neck, all the way down. I've had this consistently over this 7 or 8 years, and I've just learned to live with it. It's just what I have, and I always say to myself, well, it could be worse.
What does
I consider myself.
Sorry, Lina. Well, what does the neuro say? What do he say to you when you have this? Well, what's does he give you headache medication, or is that not good enough? Not good enough.
Yeah, I take a concoction of drugs. First of all, you asked me about the treatments earlier, and I said injections. Now I do, again, what Claire does. We're copycats. I do a twice yearly infusion. And that's every year.
It's good.
You're both on Tisabri for a while.
We Tisabri sisters from like years and years. We were on the same drug for a long time.
Oh my God.
Every Thursday, every fourth week, I think it was.
Every month.
Once a month.
Once a month.
Yeah. Nice to take you there.
We had a day in hospital each month.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason you like going was because Lina, I get to spend the day with Lina.
We did talk with it. It's actually really quite fun. I look forward to it. Bizarrely, the injection part, they're no big deal. All the girls occasionally were rubbish. The nurses occasionally weren't so good at finding our veins, because me and Lina have bad veins because too many drugs. It sounds bad. Too many healthy drugs, and so our veins are a bit knackered or a bit broken or a bit whatever you call it, tired. I guess the word is. And so we find that drugs, nurses who are good at getting our veins, often we're actually chemo nurses, the best at finding your veins. And otherwise get someone who's bad at drugs, bad needles, bad nurses, hello cat, bad nurses couldn't find our veins, and we'd cry. It was awful. Poor Lina, you had met that girl at one time. Can I talk? And we talk, one time that girl, could you walk with Lina's, the dog, the cat, sorry.
That girl, she's right there.
I'm sorry, yes. So, because occasionally the nurses will hurt you because your pain is right. We're often where the line would go in your arm, and you basically in the chair, because I was in the hospital chair, I'd see Lina jump. It hurt so much, she jumped. It was so bad. I felt so bad for those days. It was awful. It was a bad day.
Because I remember going in there and you guys and there was the same group of people in the room.
We're like a group of like a little Starbury team having it together. It was kind of fun.
Yeah,
kind
of. That's a good description, Claire. That's every team.
It sounds fun, sounds a bit insane, but it was. This cat's going to be very, very in the way. But cat, off you go.
This is all good TV, don't
Good.
So and they're all at different stages. Everyone there. Were they all to Salisbury?
Yeah, the Salisbury team was all to Salisbury girls. But they're.
Yeah, no, it was loads of fun. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
And we got cakes to eat cakes. It was kind of fun.
Yeah. And I was on Tysabri for about 8 years, and I was really sad when I had to stop. I had to go off it, and it was sad.
It was like an end of an era. When Tysabri finished.
Yeah,
it was so sad.
Yeah, it was.
That's sad.
It was.
Yeah.
You know, you would have, if Claire and I were still doing Tysabri together, you would be doing a podcast whilst we were doing the Tysabri. That would have been really good TV.
Very good TV. It would have been very good TV for you.
So what? So Lina, when you first got you were diagnosed and you had the headaches, you didn't have the pain early on though, did you?
No,
you didn't have the pain. So you kept working, and how much longer did you work for after you were diagnosed?
Well, probably about. See?
Yeah, you've forgotten that. That's all right.
Has been
That's all right.
by MS.
But can you remember when you were working? It must have been hard working. What were the hardest parts? Just it wasn't memory back then. It was probably, was it pain or
just the fatigue? The fatigue. You know, that's such an easy word. And when you say to people with MS, "Oh my God, I'm so fatigued," people look at you and they go, "I know. Oh my God, yes, I'm so tired as well." That's the MS fatigue is not the normal tired. So I would probably say those early days of working and having toddler children, it was the fatigue that was the hardest part.
Because you had the same thing, Dane. Because you had the...
Yeah, I did. I more hospital all the time. Hospital all the time.
So this was when Mergy was little and then Millie. So they were like 2, 3, 4 and you were working, yeah? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So when you were the kids with the boys you'd stopped working by then.
I stopped when I got diagnosed. I couldn't work anymore, so that was pretty early.
But then when Charlie was born, what happened when Charlie was born?
I got really sick though. That was a really bad one. That's probably the worst attack then. It went for about was it a year? No, I forget. It went for a long time, and then that kind of finished me. It finished my walking. Finished my brain. Did a lot of damage, that one.
And the attacks that Claire's talking about, Lina, did you have them over the years? That same sort of like within a couple of days, you're all over the place because your neuropathic pathways are being damaged. Is that what it is?
No.
What is it?
It's more that when you have an attack. Well, I think, Lina, attack-wise, you've seen me, I think. Have you seen me on attack? I think you've seen me. You have, don't you?
Yeah, not a pretty sight.
Not a good sight. No, it's not. Actually, on that point, before I forget, the sights, when I had bad attacks, I didn't take any photos of myself because I couldn't do that. But no one took photos. It was in such a bad way that I didn't have any photographic evidence of how bad it was. But nowadays we're doing this. I wish I had those photos. Didn't exist because that was actually, it shows how bad it really gets. Like when I was like you know, I won't go to it now. It's too big a divergence.
And how and so going back a few years, and how was Seb initially with all this?
Husband Seb.
Husband Seb. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So again, one of the lucky parts of my life, because Sab is a pharmacologist, scientist. So he was really good because he fully understood everything they were saying. And in fact, when I used to go to appointments with neuro and anything else, I would always take Sab, and I knew I could just sit there and not pay that much attention because I knew that he would understand it all. And when I got home and asked him, he would then be able to explain it in plain English. So that was lucky.
Not bad having someone in the medical field.
Didn't have that.
Being a husband.
That would be useful to have. I see it now. I get it.
I can't really do that for you. I'm sorry, darling.
It's beyond that now anyway. Back in the days, it would have been hard.
I just sit there.
You make brain go bad. You remember things. I'm told though. I don't do that.
Yeah, well, but it's nice to have someone with you, I guess.
Yes, it's very nice. You're lucky there.
But I was always happy when you were with Lina. I'd just leave with Lina for the day.
Lina's my. I talked to Lina. Me and Lina talk literally non-stop. And it's bizarre when we first met. We met when I first arrived in Australia. What was that? Yeah.
So end of 13.
End of 13, 14. End of 13, I can't remember. Okay. And we met then, and we hadn't met each other ever. And we met up in a playground with the kids playing, I think it was, the kids playing. And then we just sat and chatted, and it was like I'd met Lina. Like we'd been best friends our entire lives. It was very, very peculiar. I think we had so much to talk, and we like this. I didn't stop talking. Just kept talking. And I said, did I know you before? Did I know you before? Did we a school girl? No. Okay. I was just a bit nutty there.
And in fact, isn't it true? Like when we finished speaking, because we like Zoom, because you're in Byron Bay and I'm in Melbourne. When we never say goodbye when we finish talking, we just always say, speak soon.
Speak soon, yeah, say goodbye.
That's just how we are.
It's nice
speak soon.
Speak soon. And we forget when we're going to meet talking to you next time. I think, what did we say when we're talking anyway? I forget the next time anyway. So to say, speak soon, it's more, less brainy to say it.
Yeah, yeah.
And Lina, how often are you meeting with your neuro? Just tell everyone who your neurosurgeon is. Your neuro.
Yeah, my neurologist is Professor Helmut Butzkuven.
Yeah,
and that's I call him God, and he won't like that I'm saying that on this, but to me, he's been my God. He's got his finger on the pulse because he's a clinical neurologist, but he's also a researcher. He's got a great research team. I just call him God.
And he also is very well known
in the
neuro world. He's very well known too. He's very, very well respected.
Yeah, very well respected. Yeah.
And now you've got broadly shifted to Broadly now.
I'm moving up here to leave Howard behind, which is such a shame. But I had to leave behind and come here. So a new guy now who's called Professor Simon Broadley, who's also very good as well. He knows of Helmut. He knows Helmut. Just so just everyone knows everyone. And in the scheme of neurologists, the really good ones are way up high, and they kind of a different sort of what do you call it? Different air, rarefied air. There, all the really good ones. And the good thing about Helmut too, which is important, he can talk to you. He's quite chatty and quite eloquent.
He makes you feel like
and very down to earth. With a lot of neuros I've met, they're quite almost like the clever doctors who don't talk to you, whereas he's just very.
He's keen to know how you are.
Matter of fact, talks about real things.
Yeah. I say he's got a good bedside manner.
That's right. Well said. It's better than me. But yes.
And that's important, yeah?
It is. Yes, it is.
And Lina, have you felt just put her that way, don't you?
Sorry.
Have you felt that there is hope with a cure? I mean, obviously everyone's in the same boat, that we're still waiting for a cure, but do you feel like that things are closer from what you've heard?
Yeah. Look, I have hope because there's just so many intelligent, good scientists in researching and investigating MS and trying to find that magical cure. That's the Holy Grail. But one of the things that gives me that hope is that since I was diagnosed, there's been so much progress in terms of treatments, So that, for example, I was doing injections 3 times a week or every day, whereas now my treatment is this twice yearly infusion, and I just feel that they get better and better each year. And one day, Claire,
It'll happen. It has to happen because the things now are being progressed faster. Other diseases too. Things are going faster. So I think that it's a matter of time now. But we have to hold on to our health to make sure we're still vibrant, vibrant-ish, and be more and be healthy as long as we can until we get that final chink in the armour and fix it.
I think
live life, continue living life.
You might live every day like it's the last day.
Lina, maybe maybe this is a good time to talk about what you have done, and you've done so much to try and contribute to research and how this journey of you running these huge balls every year started and how they went.
Sure. And, I consider this one of the benefits of my MS, one of the things I've got out of it. I started fundraising when I was about 25, and I was fundraising for the Royal Children's Hospital. I was then, a few years later, diagnosed with MS, and that's when the MS ball started, balls. But it's never been me on my own. I've always had a really, really good team of people. You can't organise and run those balls just one person. So my team over the years, people have come and gone depending on circumstance. But I'm so proud to say that we have raised over $1 million for MS research.
Wow,
and that is so exciting.
That's because of you, really. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's impressive.
Yeah. I came on the committee with you a couple of years, Lina, and just saw how much work you put in and how passionate you were, and it was phenomenal to watch. And what people were willing to bring to as auction items and people to do. They were huge nights, and they took the whole. I saw how much work you did, how many people you go out and speak to, and how many people were willing to help. And it was just fantastic. And we've met through you, Lina, a lot of people, at those committee meetings, we had a couple at home, and we met, people like Gino, who are in a chair and.
Working full time,
and he's still working full time. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Gino?
Yeah,
Lina, and what he has. He will talk about him another day, but he was on the committee, and
you should meet him.
Yeah,
he's a good person.
Gino is an extraordinary human being. Extraordinary, very inspiring, because Gino is the one person I know with MS in a wheelchair who does not let that wheelchair get in the way of his life, going out, his travels. He's like, this is what I am, this is what I've got, but I will still continue to travel the world with my family. And yes, of course, let's be real, it can't be easy, neither on Gino nor his beautiful wife and girls. But he just says, this is what I am, and I will still keep living life. But fundraising has just given me the most amazing moments. Can I share?
Cool, of course you can.
Yeah, do. And your OM too.
I wasn't going to be sharing that.
Yes, you can.
You wear your little pin, girl. Just do that. It's important.
We have had some of the most amazing auction items at the MS Ball, just significant. One of them, and this is all, like the team, we would just like every time we met, we'd like try and come up with these almost like very, very unique, weird and wonderful auction items that would get us loads of money. So one of the ones we did was a bottle of Grange signed by every living Prime Minister of Australia.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Did you get that?
And we did it, and we got the bottle, and they all, they all signed it. Except, of course, Mr. Keating.
Didn't
Mr.
do
Keating
it.
didn't want to sign our bottle, which is a bit sad.
It's a bit of a romp.
I wasn't happy. I don't think anyone was happy. And it accidentally also got into the media, not through me, but one of the girls I knew, her partner was in the media, and she put it out to her friends. And so we got a little bit of media around the fact that Paul Keating wouldn't sign this bottle of Grange. And oh my God, I was driving home one day and I get this phone call from a man, and it was Paul Keating.
No way.
He rang me.
I didn't know this.
Rang me, little on me, and nobody that grew up, unbelievable. And he basically just rang to, vent about the fact that it had gotten into the media and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, to me, it's a memorable story because let me tell you, I do not know many people that have received a phone call from a very irate ex-Prime Minister.
That's very true.
But, we also had a bottle of Grange signed by all the Australian Oscar winners. So we did just amazing things. One of the more interesting things we got also was a $20,000 voucher for concrete, as in, concrete that you build with.
Wow.
And that provided us a lot of fun. And we all said we would make sure we kept a tab on the winning bidder because that means they had a lot of concrete, and if that person asked you for your shoe size, that was not going to be a good ending for you.
Okay,
so that was a bit of fun, which charity ball auctions 20,000 worth of concrete? I don't know any.
Pretty rare.
Yeah, so, magical moments like that. And I don't know, I think you may even be able to see that when I start talking about the ball and the items, my face lights up. It's so much fun and it gives me so much joy. And at the end of the day, we fundraised hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for scientists of today who, for us, were trying to get to the Holy Grail. And that was to find that cure. Yeah. But I'm also going to tell you about one of the most amazing things that happened to me because of MS. And yes, Claire did mention that I was blessed to be awarded an Order of Australia medal.
Go, Lina.
Just extraordinary. But what happened was that after I was awarded that medal, I was in the newspaper. You know how they do Australia Day honours and they sort of interview people that have got honours that year. Anyway, so I was in the paper, my little story, and about a week later, I was waiting for the kids at school pick up, and I get a phone call from this lady who says to me, I am so-and-so, and I'm one of the producers of Neighbours, the TV show, and we'd like to invite you to be on the show. Oh, my God.
When was this, Lina? When was this?
Pardon?
What year was this?
Oh, yeah, right. You're asking to someone with MS.
No, sorry, don't worry.
A long time ago.
I don't know. But the best thing was that they invited me to be on there, but to be me, to play myself. Oh, my God. So, yeah, that was a very special moment. And that was through my fundraising and through MS. So Claire and I have said this often. It's given us a lot of horrible things.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's also, for me, has provided some magical moments that I know I would not have received if not for MS and what they gave me.
So, Lina, just to bring us up to speed where you are now with things and how you're feeling and how you're going and what's has something changed from say 2 or 3 years ago, or do you feel you're in quite a stable spot now with the disease?
Yeah, okay. That's a good question. And let me tell you, it also touches on my feeling, my neuropathic pain on the right side that I've had for 7 or 8 years. I've learnt to live with it and I just don't know it's there. But one of the problems with that is that, and Claire will understand this, it's an invisible symptom, which means that that people say, you look, because how are you? And if I tell them the truth, how I am, they always respond and say, oh, my God, you just look so good. You look so well. And that for me has been, a frustration, and Claire would understand this too, because to look at us and to see us we just look normal. But we're not normal underneath, and it is invisible. And you asked me, John, where I am now. My problem now, apart from this neuropathic pain, which I just, try and ignore, until the days that gets me bedridden and then I don't get out of bed, and that does happen probably, I don't know, every 6 weeks or so, where it's just so bad that it has failed me and I just can't get up because I can't function. But oh God! See, I forgot what I was going to say.
That's okay.
Was anyone paying attention?
I was. No, I think you were saying about it. You're saying about.
Well, this is going well too. Well, this is what this is all about.
This is the blind leading the blind.
This is what it's about.
We do have like those stenographers timing down where we said, "Oh, you were there." We forget where we were in a conversation, thinking, "What we just saying?"
I think that. Sorry. This is in the movie.
I know.
When Laura was talking to her mother, and this is like the blind leading the blind. When I was talking about if you had to look after each other.
Well, but we just we just forget everything.
Together.
But
it's just
but we don't
it's what it is.
Just it.
Hang on.
Wait, it came back. See it come back.
There you go.
It came back.
Yes, it's back. And so you asked me how I am the last 2 or 3 years. I've mentioned neuropathic pain. Let's move on. My problem now is more around my memory and my cognitive skills.
Yeah.
They, in the last 2 years, I have noticed they have declined. When I think back to, and Claire will understand this because she's in a similar boat. When Claire and I think back to like the jobs that we used to have and how smart we were, and we still are.
Thank you.
We can't do that anymore. And for me, the cognitive and memory is just really, really sad. I have now been referred to a dementia neurologist.
Lina.
And that's painful for me. Now, I've seen him. He said I don't have dementia.
Good.
But just the fact that I've seen him and I will see him once a year, it's hard to talk about.
It must be hard.
So that's what I'm dealing with at the moment. And again, can I say, they're my invisible things. People can't see them. And so when I make like dates with my friends, all my close friends now, they know, I say to them, please send me a text the day before and then text me in the morning, and then I'll know. And this is not scripted. Whilst I was prepping for this podcast today, which my kids were trying to help me because I could not do, I received a text message from my friend Andrea saying, Lina, you're still good to meet me today after my hair appointment. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't.
Claire does the same.
Not scripted.
Claire, you do the same
my
thing.
today.
I do that to my thing.
That's why we write things on a board.
We have like a John's like a he's like a project manager. You project manage me. Organize my days. Just kind of true. Yes.
Yeah. So it's just there's a very similar some of the things you go through, and some of the things that you go through, Lina doesn't, and Lina goes. Lina has the pain, and you have the
walking the halls.
And I was going to. I don't know if we've got enough time to talk about today. The stigma involved with when you go out in public. Sometimes the perception, outside perception, and how you feel. How are you, Lina? Do you think people are looking at you or noticing?
It looks great.
Absolutely.
What really?
There's something wrong with her. She's drunk.
Oh yeah, that thing.
I don't know. Claire's got this T-shirt on today. Come on, Claire. Repeat what's on your T-shirt, please, because I can't remember what you said.
Not everyone with a disability is in a wheelchair. Don't judge what you don't know.
This is a great T-shirt. This actually speaks volumes.
You always think that people think you're drunk.
People think I'm drunk, yes. There's a new T-shirt. I forwarded you the picture. Someone I on my phone, like a little T-shirt, a little advertisement. And I showed this person had a T-shirt saying, I can tick boxes. I can tick, am I drunk? No. And the other one says, maybe a little bit. I like that thing. It's quite funny.
we touched on, we're just having a chat about
You filming this?
the stigma of.
Are you filming? Are you filming?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm sure. I didn't know. I don't waste good conversation.
The stigma of the disease sometimes, and when you go out and the perception of people, and I don't, Claire, you don't seem to think about it when we're out, do we?
Well, you don't know that I do. I do because I've actually, Lynn, this is important. You see this. I kind of, in a way, because my walking is pretty clearly I'm sick. I've tried to, hence wearing these t-shirts all the time. I kind of think, well, actually, stuff it. Everyone knows I'm sick. Why try and hide it? Because I can't hide it. But for so many years, I hid it. And I think it did miss myself a disservice by hiding it. It turns out I wasn't hiding it at all, but I thought it was. And that made me probably less confident. Now I'm like, well, stuff it. I'm sick. Deal with it.
Yeah, that's a great attitude to have.
Because your walking's pretty good, though. Your walking's pretty good.
I'm lucky. I always say I'm lucky because I don't have visible symptoms, but
you had this one,
equally,
though.
as I said earlier, it also has the invisible symptoms stigma, you know. Hey, do you want to laugh?
Yes.
Laugh?
Yes.
This is, I promise anyone that's listened to this was totally unscripted, but my mobile just pinged and I got my message for my MRI on the 28th of October.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. That's good timing.
Oh, my God.
All during this.
That's kind of fate.
A little bit of fate.
Yeah. Spooky. And
Spooky, yeah.
And my thing, and I'm also claustrophobic, so when I do have
MRIs.
my MRI, I have to take Valium. It's just another ordeal, you know. Claire,
I got to see.
You know what I think? And Claire, I think, would agree. There's there's so many layers with having MS, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. Definitely good, well said too. Because people think people say to you before about being tired. They say, "Oh, I get tired too. I feel like punching them." So you're tired, and I'm tired at all different things. So I'm tired today. Oh yeah, I know. I did sleep tonight. I'll be fine. No. It's so different.
Yeah.
Like, it's been insulting.
But they don't know. People don't know. People don't know.
Yeah, in their defence, that's right. In their defence, they don't know.
No.
I think that when you and I, Claire, say we're just so tired, it's only someone with MS that's ever going to
understand,
truly appreciate and understand. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the more people you meet.
So, John, what did you ask me?
No, we chatted. Well, let's take that a little bit further, talking about. I'm going to keep saying that word stigma, but how how it was received by your family and friends when you first got it, and have you felt that some people didn't know how to take it, and how has it affected your friendship groups and your family members over the years, do you think?
Okay, so in answer to your first question, how it was received, I think shock is probably the best description, don't you think, Claire? People just are shocked.
Shock, and I think everyone gets, "Oh, I'm so sorry," particularly it's kind.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people feel sorry for you.
Yeah, and I know that, and this is probably goes back a long way to how the MS Society at the time did their brochures and their advertising. People with walking sticks and people in wheelchairs with MS. And so
only,
I know, I was diagnosed, as I said, 30 years ago. And 30 years ago, if you were diagnosed with MS, the first thing you would think and everyone else would think is, oh, my God, wheelchair.
Wheelchair. First thing, wheelchair. Yeah.
Yeah, people do think that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think also, at that point, people diagnosed MS. I read somewhere that only 5% end up in wheelchairs. Is that right?
Well, there you
so
go.
it's actually not that many at all. But everyone assumes it's going to happen, but it doesn't. So I think you can you can avoid it. I hope.
Yeah, we went to a couple of those groups in Melbourne at the MS Centre.
Yes.
And there were some people coming in wheelchairs. And
everyone older than me was in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
Everyone younger than me was not. So there's a difference. Medication's making a big difference now. So people being now medicated, they're staying out of wheelchairs much longer. Whereas in old days, it was basically MS. Or seemed to be MS wheelchair. So medications make a huge difference.
Yeah, barely any treatments, and the treatments that were there 30 years ago were not fabulous.
No, and also they told me, I was told initially not to have babies. And so that was actually, in hindsight, that was totally wrong. But nowadays, it's never told down. But back then it was.
Oh, my God. Well, you know what, Claire? I equate that to when I went to my GP and I had a toddler, him saying to me, you need a shrink. You know, I've got a young mum here with a toddler. She's not coping. She's got double vision headache. You need to go see a shrink.
They blame you, like you're going nuts. It's quite insulting, really, but I'm not going to go there.
Oh, my God, yes. Yes.
Do you think, Lina, has there been people over the years that have, your friendships have suffered because of what you're going through, or the way they react to you, or how they've related to you?
Okay. The short answer is no. My friends have been, oh my God, beyond helpful. Will drop anything to come help me. I mean, you know, I've had relapses where I've been bedridden. I've been in hospital for quite a while, and they do like a meal train thing. And you know, I've had my friends like dropping off food, and I think in terms of their understanding, it's been better because I, as a person with MS, have been able to describe my symptoms, describe what I'm going through, and they've also seen me be very unwell